What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cinespection. Those who were watching us 8 minutes away, welcome back. And those that just came in, welcome. We are doing something different this week. First being my fault. We're doing it on a Sunday and not a Monday. Thank you to my friends for their understanding, and for you audiences that are just waiting the whole week for Cinespection. Thanks. So we're going to do something different this week. We're not going to talk about a movie. So we talk about Ted Lasso, which is already our tradition over the last 3 weeks. Now we started watching a new Apple show, true to our brand, called Foundation. So of course I won't explain the plot because I'll let John, who I'm introducing right now, Joe Firth on Twitter. John, my co-host. John, how are you feeling today? How's everything?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, but we're good. We're
gonna long weekend.
It's been a long weekend, so I'm ready to explain the plot of a sci-fi series that was written in like the 70s by.
Wait. Not yet. Let me introduce Dives, and then we.
Okay.
Oh, we also have the intro. What the hell, John? Don't forget about the intro. Dives, what's up, Dives?
No, I'm just excited for this. Is John explains the plot. I'm ready.
I will tell you this before we get into our thoughts about the episode. I will tell you that John explaining the plot is more exciting than both episodes combined. All right, so let's get to John explains the plot.
All right,
that is so good.
This week is a very special John explains the plot because I don't know. Like I don't.
You had started already. Go back.
So Foundation is based on a series of books written by Isaac Asimov. I can never say his name right. Who wrote things that you're probably familiar with, like the basis of iRobot. He came up with the 3 laws of robotics. All of this stuff is based on the sci-fi writer, very prolific. And Apple bought up the rights for this, whatever we're going to call it. I don't know. This could be a 10 season show, or it could be like done after this. So
I have a fact there that I researched. I believe they're going for 80 episodes.
80 episodes. So what? 8 seasons, basically. Yeah, I mean, I think it's 7 full books, and his books are not small. So the plot is that we're in the future, and it's basically the Roman Empire.
Is it the future? I don't know if it's supposed to be the future or just some galaxy. You know, I don't know.
No, it's a cluster of galaxies. Anyway, we'll get
right.
So, like,
I mean, none of them is called Earth.
No Earth. There's no Earth. We are somewhere in space-time, and they have learned how to manipulate space-time and actually do faster than light travel, which I want to get to that because that was one of the coolest spaceships ever, because it used a black hole in the center of it to bend space-time to go faster than light. Anyway, you start with these characters, this girl who had like jewels removed from her face, and she goes to this planet, which is like the mothership planet. Okay, I know Gabe's going to love this. She goes to this planet, and it's... The planet is
the planets. Name all the planets.
Oh no! Oh, I can't even pronounce that. Okay, so we're not even trying.
I remember that Trantor is the main planet. Yeah, and her is Synax, I believe.
Yeah, she's Synax. So this main planet is like hundreds of layers of city deep, and they've built an artificial Las Vegas style star dome. Okay.
Yes.
To make the poor people feel good, and then the 3 emperors, which we'll get to this in a little bit. There are 3 emperors because they're all the same fucking person. There's a young one, a middle-aged one, and an old one, which are Dawn, Day, and what was the third? Dusk.
Yeah, Dusk. Okay,
so
why does it look just like Coruscant from the prequel?
Oh, you stole it!
I was gonna say that it looks like Coruscant. Yes, so it is basically Coruscant. I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to be like so Star Warsy about it. But yeah, it's basically Coruscant.
I mean, it is. It's exactly what
is.
it is. Like they could have taken the shots and put them interchangeably between the movies.
Except Coruscant doesn't have a cool ass space elevator, but neither does this planet anymore. But we'll get to that later.
Okay, try to keep it spoiler free.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to keep most.
I mean, you just spoiled the hell out of the first episode. You know what? Spoilers. John can't control himself. I was gonna keep it spoiler free, but yeah, just spoilers for episodes 1 or 2 or Foundation. But we're still on John explains plot.
Yeah, I mean that was not a huge spoiler. Okay,
I mean, just set up the universe, but what is the conflict here?
The conflict here is that some guy who's a mathematician has now Jared Harris, by the way, is the actor. He has now figured out that the Empire is falling, and this Empire's been around for like. I think they said like 1,200 years or something.
I think they said 12,000 years.
12,000 years. And
that's what they said.
All the emperors are clones of themselves, and they just keep recloning themselves so that there's always 3 emperors. All right. And he figures out mathematically that the empire is on its way down, and that basically there's going to be a dark age. And then during that dark age, it's going to be a 30,000 year dark age. And he's done all the calculations. But they can limit it down to a 1,000-year dark age if they collect most of the scientific breakthroughs and they put them in like an arc vault type thing, so that in 1,000 years, a foundation for a new civilization.
On target.
Okay. Yeah.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good, John.
Really good.
Not bad, right?
Right. And this is all told through the eyes of
the main character, which I can't even pronounce her name either. Like,
I forgot her name.
Her name's
Do you
Gail.
remember her?
Gal.
Oh, Gail.
Is it Gail or Gal? It's Gaal.
It's spelled Gal, but they say Gail.
Okay.
They
Anyway, so
Gail.
And just so we're like, I wanted to touch on this too before we get to 90% of the actors in this are like unknowns. Like, most of these people have either done like one thing before or like nothing. Jared Harris and Lee Pace are the only 2 people that have really done anything that you might know.
There's a guy who looks just like Sean Bean.
Really?
Who? The guy who, when she goes in the second episode, she goes to that meeting, and there's a guy who's like being mean to her. Let's discount Sean Bean, right?
Yeah.
So the first guy that's talking to Gail as she's like walking through, did anybody get like Gary Oldman Fifth Element vibes from that guy?
Yes. That guy is a combination between Gary Oldman, the Fifth Element, and Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Like the way his body was moving, like he just kind of like had that slithery personality.
Yes. And also he's like scheming, like he even just like something like this. Like he's just doing Littlefinger meets. Yes, he's doing Littlefinger meets what is his name? Karg, something like that in Fifth Element. Anyway, yeah, villain from Fifth Element. He's just a combination.
I can't say that. Like, I actually thought the acting was good in the show. The special effects are amazing. Like, they're just like the spaceship.
Let's get
insane.
into special effects. Let's get into the special effects because I believe this has like an astronomical budget. Like, I don't know the numbers, but the budget must be ridiculous. The special effects look better than most movies. $200 million movies. There's so many of them. Like even Game of Thrones, when we got to the point that special effects, like they had proper budget for special effects, they never had so many special effects shots as this thing. Like
I've never seen a pilot of a TV show have special. I've never seen like most movies have this good of special effects. Like, let's reiterate like how amazing that they are. Like, these are definitely better than like the the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. Like, most of these special effects are much, much better than that.
Well, did you feel, I mean, let me go to Dives on this one. Dives, did you feel like the special effects sometimes there's so many, and they take the center stage so much that they're kind of like trying to keep you interested because they have so many long talking scenes?
Maybe. So I think that's a big part of it. I think I didn't read the books personally, so I'm not going to be able to like touch on books, but from what I do know, a lot of the books are like kind of very long and drawn out, a lot of talking scenes in like one area of space. So that could be it. For me, it was the world building. I was just immersed into all these amazing like different locations and the spaceship. Like the visuals were terrific. It made me hope one day that this is like what we're gonna get if they were to make a Mass Effect TV show.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is very Mass Effect-y.
Yeah,
like it is very much Mass Effect-y.
But that scene where the spaceship goes into light speed, man, that was probably like no joke, like the best science fiction sequence I've seen in a long time. And that spaceship blowing up scene would make the Wanda Vision finale look like some shit you would see on CW. Like it was just awesome. Like that scene where the elevator's like falling, like awesome.
All right, well, let's get to that because I kept thinking, why do I like these visuals so much? I've seen them before, and I couldn't figure out where. I was like, it's visually stunning in every way. Special effects, cinematography, and actors' faces, like everything is just like really, really well shot. Right? Set design, outstanding. I don't think they had more than a couple of scenes per set. Like they built like completely different sets for everything. The visual aesthetic is taken directly from Jupiter Ascending.
Interesting.
It's the exact same. So have you guys seen Jupiter Ascending?
Yeah.
Right?
You think it's close. There's some like you can tell. I mean, first off, plot aside, this is just the fall of the Roman Empire. Okay, like that's literally they just gutted this plot. And like that's where all of this comes from.
I don't know because at first
they even on the main planet they have like Roman aesthetics to the buildings and like
same as Jupiter Ascending. But
yeah,
I think that's fine. But I do think that the visuals, while stunning, at some points I felt like when I got over them, I started realizing that it's not as good as I thought it was. I really liked the first episode. The second dragged really bad for me.
The love story is
where
the
love story, especially because I thought she was like 15. I thought she was supposed to be like 15, and the guy looks older than her. Like he looks, probably 27, 30 years old, and she looks very young. She's a very young looking woman. And at first I was like kind of like creeped out that in the first episode they like kind of like hinted at a love story.
Yeah.
And they just went all in the second one. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I mean, you can obviously tell that they're setting up for quite a bit. Like that's the problem with all of these sci-fi shows, right? Like we're kind of hinting towards this, but you have to have such big setup to understand this massive conflict that's going to occur. And that's what you're seeing now. I think it'll be good. I don't think it's going to be, if you're not into sci-fi, I can't say that this is probably going to be a show for you. And I'll be like completely honest about that. But if you're into sci-fi, I can definitely see this as being like one of those like legacy shows that people just hook onto it and love. So that's
what I thought too. That's what I thought too. And that's what I keep wondering about because they're spending Apple has money to spare. We know this. But they're spending a gajillion dollars on this thing, and this deeply scientific sci-fi show with not a lot of action, with no, as you said, no big names attached. Like, is this gonna have enough viewership to exist for 8 seasons? Like, doesn't sound like it.
I mean, I don't know, but we're gonna have to see. I think that not that I don't want to give away too much, but because I do want people to watch it, I think that if you're into sci-fi, that you will enjoy it. I think that the visuals alone are stunning, like we've talked about. Jared Harrison and Lee Pace do a great job as the two like big named actors, not very big named. I mean, Lee Pace was in like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, nobody remembers Pushing Daisies?
I know the show Pushing Daisies. I never watched it though.
Oh God, we should. Did you watch it, Dives? No. That is a hell of a show. That show is amazing.
But he was also Halt and Catch Fire was really good. If you've never watched that was on AMC. He was awesome as Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy.
He was in The Hobbit. He was an elf in The Hobbit.
I mean, I think that he would be. I think that he's going to be a good driving bad guy. Like he's going to drive the plot forward.
Yeah, no, he's a great actor, and I like the dynamic between the three, the dawn, day, and dusk.
Yeah, it's an interesting
clones
dynamic.
of the same person, and especially because they let the young adult guy drive, the leadership, which is the mistake, right? If you have the experience, the old guy, he should be the one.
Well, so
that
like
makes the decisions.
No, because they all three make the decisions, though. Okay, so like that's the point, and we're going to get to it. It is the older perspective, the younger perspective, and the man that everybody looks up to. So the perspective of a child, the perspective of an old man, and then the man that like if you ever watch Altered Carbon, they talk about why do you stay in this body, like the guy's like in his late 40s or whatever, and he's like, because you're respectable, you're still of like youthful age. And anyway, they get into this whole dynamic of why people look at leaders that are younger in better lights. But I think it's really cool. I mean, I think that this show could have legs and it could go pretty far. I think that the whole plot is going to be she's collecting things for the Foundation. Like, I don't know, because I didn't read the books or anything, but that's what I gather, is this is her mission while the Empire is falling. And, like, we already are seeing the Empire is falling apart. Like, a day after this guy goes on, like, the national, or the, whatever the galactic television service is called, and he's like, it's all going to fall apart. And then the next day, boom, 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 terrorist attacks.
Can we talk about that? Like,
yeah.
Day, dawn, dusk are supposed to be like perfection, like super intelligent people leading this planet. But they have this guy that's like trying to undermine faith in the Empire, and we have to stop him. And what do? They throw him into this like giant meeting where he just calmly explains, his plan. Yeah. And I thought that was probably not the best decision to have it like so public.
Well, I think that he is like an advisor, but I don't think that that's the thing. I think he was an advisor to the throne. Like,
no,
he has been
head of a university.
Yeah, but I think that he came up with the theory of like being able to forecast the future. So this wasn't the first time that they had ever spoke to him or even close. Like, he had been forecasting the future for them previously. But this is the first time that he became a heretic, because he was like, I've looked far enough into the future to know. And before, maybe it was like, more low-key stuff. I don't know. But I agree that putting him on a big screen and then making him a martyr,
because they made the point that people were listening to his conspiracy theories. Like, imagine, put it in our world, right? You have like an Alex Jones or something saying crazy things that lots of people are listening to. And then Joe Biden calls him to the White House and puts him on national TV and says, go ahead and say what I believe that you're saying is crazy. Like, that was a weird place.
It's kind of happened, though. We put Mark Zuckerberg on stage in front of everybody in America, and everybody just sat there and watched that shit. So, like, we're not too far out of the realm of
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, we're not too far out of the realm of possibility here. You know what I mean? Like, and this is something that I did kind of want to bring up, and we're up on time, but I think this show comes at a very
started.
I know.
Go over. We just
we're going to go over. But so I think that this show is extremely pertinent now, because you do have in our country, you have like a lot of like forces that are quelling and like things that are going on, and like this show is coming in at a time where it actually makes a lot of sense, right? Like, there is civil unrest. There are people that are unhappy. There's a lot going on, and maybe it's a little. I think the timing is right. I think that this show could get
about any point but you can say that about any point in history. I feel right now, because we have access to social media, we know a bit more. But sure, yes, yeah. Sure, yeah. But look. How did you feel about the main character?
I don't know.
We don't know yet. We don't.
Yeah.
It's too early. Like, there's so much that this literally the show needs to lay out regarding its foundation. So we don't really know yet. You got to like really kind of invest a little bit.
We
get
spent
into
2
it.
hours with her.
I'm
spent
good.
2 hours with her.
So I'm definitely higher than you guys. I thought the first episode was really good.
Yeah.
I did not like really good. Really, I'll probably give it like a 9 out of 10. I loved it.
Wow.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then the second episode definitely took a step down for me. It definitely dragged a little bit, although the pacing was pretty fast paced. Like a lot happened. It just the love story I was not on board totally with that.
Also, didn't get his motivation very well. Like I know they had that confrontation, and
I have no clue. All right, can we like touch on that? Because
I mean,
maybe you guys can fill me in. We already spoiled it. Like, why did he?
I already know.
Murder him.
No, he didn't. It's part of what's his name? I'm already drawing a blank. What's the guy's name?
Harry Sheldon.
Harry Sheldon. Yeah, Harry.
I think that was part of his plan, and he has to die in order to get something else moving.
I mean, so that's my theory. I don't know. I haven't read the books, and I don't want to look at spoilers because they're going to be abound. But my assumption is that she was right, even though she didn't realize that she was right, that he needed to die to become a martyr to kick off the end of this. And like, it's not actually him predicting the future. It's him building a future that he wants based on this foundation of science or whatever. So like, I honestly don't think that, I mean, that's what I kind of assumed it was.
I don't think he's dead though yet. I don't necessarily think he's officially dead.
I mean,
I hope not, because anything that loses Jared Harris, like he's the kind of guy that his dad, his dad is Richard Harris, who played the first Dumbledore.
Oh, really?
No way! I didn't know
that's his dad. So every time you throw Jared Harris into a movie, you just class it up.
So like here's
the thing. Make it a classier film just because he's in it or a show. So if he's gonna disappear after this,
he's 100% not disappearing, and I only know that because my fucking skills of IMDb tells me that he's in 10 episodes this season. I
think that's just IMDb. Like, I don't think an employee of Apple updated that.
No, I mean some people have like 8, 7, 6, like. So they I mean.
Oh really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't tell me who, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I won't. But like, there are definitely people on here that show less episodes than others. So it's not just they put everybody at 10 and called it a day. So we'll see. But I mean, I don't know. The motives were very hard to figure out there. Like, why?
I agree with Dives. I would say close to a 9 out of 10 too on the first one. But yeah, the second one it was boring. It was boring. It was like, and then that execution scene, it was like played as I think they were going for like a Game of Thrones kind of like,
there's a lot of Game of Thrones in this show.
Right? Yeah, there is a lot of Game of Thrones.
They were going for Game of Thrones, but it just like, I didn't care enough, like about these guys or the.
But here's the thing, dude. If they can give me Game of Thrones in space, I will watch 80 episodes, 100 episodes, whatever. I mean, I think
but that's not what this. Like, Manda asked me, Dives in the chat. She asked me, like, "Hey, is this like Game of Thrones?" I'm like, "It isn't. Like, it's."
Oh, we don't
think. But I mean, we've seen 2 hours of it. Like, I think we have a sense of what unless they pull a Ted Lasso on us. No, I'm just kidding. But like, we kind of know what they're going for.
Look at the first couple episodes of Game of Thrones and where it ended up. Like, there's so much. Like I said with Gail, like there's so much. You said 80 episodes. Like that. There's a lot of foundation still. To be laid.
Here's the thing about Game of Thrones. For the first 5 episodes, nothing bad really happened.
And with Sean Bean,
like that about they threw a kid out the window. They threw a kid out the window in the first episode. What are you talking about? There was incest.
They literally, the entire space elevator collapsed because of terrorism.
You didn't see a single human. It was all shot from the perspective of special effects. You didn't see a single person die.
What are you talking about?
It was only the special effects.
No, you saw when. Go back and watch it. You saw the woman, the space elevator falling, and then a woman up against the glass, and the glass blows out and it blows her against the wall, and then all of the glass hits her in the face.
Nobody would know.
No, there were definitely people everywhere dying. And then they say, what do they say? 150 million people are dead or something like that.
100 million people are dead.
First of all,
127,000 are flying in space.
My question is this is like the epitome of architecture, like it's a brilliantly designed. It took what 3 martyrs to take the entire thing.
I mean, those were pretty big fucking bombs. Okay,
all right, how did they even get there? Like, come on.
Because they explain it. They put it in. They biohacked them and made them like their entire bodies an explosive. So imagine you have 3 people who are 180 pounds worth of explosives walking around. Like,
and clearly that check-in system where they're like, have a piece.
Well, that's why. But that's why
they. Not good enough, John.
But that's why they biohacked. Like they
John,
already.
Why are you defending this so much? Do you know the producers or something?
No, but like, I love sci-fi, and I've been trying for so long to get people on the sci-fi bandwagon, and like, I have begged Gabe to watch Battlestar Galactica, and he won't watch it. So I finally got him to watch it.
Here's the thing, John. Here's the thing. It's happened to me before with these kinds of like high concept sci-fi shows that we've had over the last few years. And I'll give you 2 examples. Altered Carbon and Raised by Wolves. They all had really great ideas, high concept, like great, but they had 2 things in common. 1, bad character work, and 2, overly long and drawn out episodes.
Okay, so the only thing that happened with Altered Carbon, and is not the fault of the show, but Netflix literally cut their budget by like 50% on the 2nd season. That would be my
get there.
That would be my what? The first season of Altered Carbon is amazing. It's one of the best sci-fi shows out there. The first season of Altered Carbon
is Blade Runner, meets The Matrix. Like it's. I mean, it was fine.
Hang on, what you just explained to me sounds like the coolest fucking thing ever. Like, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Blade Runner meets The Matrix, and you're complaining about it? Like,
I struggled to get through it, and I really wanted to like it. So I love the idea, I love the concepts, but I think the character work was not very strong. Even though I really liked Joel Kinnaman's performance, I was never engaged very much in the character. I mean, you can agree that the character work it's not Ted Lasso, it's not Cobra Kai, it's not Game of Thrones. Like,
he fucking cut somebody's head off. It's John Wick meets The Matrix meets like Blade Runner. Yeah, I mean, it's just
okay,
anyway.
Tangent pod. So look, it's okay. The show is okay. I don't feel very excited about episode 3, but I don't feel not excited. I'm not at the level where I'm gonna stop watching. There's better things out there, and I feel like that's what happens with these shows. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but to me, there's so many of these shows like right now that you can watch, like 500 scripted shows right now.
I'm hoping that it's better. I hope it. I'll put that. I hope it gets better.
I enjoyed it clearly, and the writing needs to get better. We need to see what the story is actually going to be moving forward. The potential is absolutely there. Like, the world building is immaculate. The visuals are immaculate. I'm sold because I'm a big science fiction fan myself. I don't know anything about the books, but first 2 episodes, I'm in. I'm definitely going to be watching this. And there's the potential, I'm not saying it, but I'm going to, is Game of Thrones worthy. There's definitely real Game of Thrones worthy potential with this show.
That's fair. I hope so too. I mean, we're going to keep watching it, at least for the foreseeable season. So, I mean, I really hope it gets good. It gets better. But it's almost half an hour, so we got to cut it short. I'm going to start yelling at John for, lying on the internet. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So here's Dives at Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Thanks, Dives. Thanks for joining us. You're like the Jared Harris of Cinespection. You come and it's just a classier,
all numbers, Dave. It's all numbers.
And Joe Firth on Twitter, John. What's up, John?
I'm ready to watch more of this, and next week we'll talk about this, and I guess we're going to be talking about Ted Lasso because I didn't realize that we have 2 more episodes.
Wait a minute. So you guys also thought that this was the
because it said last season was 10 episodes, and I just assumed like they're just going to do 10 episodes.
So like my reaction, like after it ended, I was like, that was like the weirdest season I've ever seen in my life. And then
Yeah.
I tweet something on it, and someone goes, "Yeah, great episode, but there's 2 more left." I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I
no,
looked it up on
it
IMDb, and I
is.
was like, week at the end, I looked up on IMDb. I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes more sense.
Well,
It's
I
awesome.
mean, that's the beauty of weekly episodes.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. I love it so much. Also, I think next week we're gonna have John and Dives watch a soccer game, and we're just gonna review that.
Ooh, I'm out, man.
All right. Well, see you next week.